art director here at Fun Stamper's Journey, and I would like to welcome you to a tour of our craft room. Let's go ahead and start out with my countertop area. I am lucky enough to have a really nice long spread of countertop here. So I've divided it up into different zones. The first zone that you see right here is what I call my tool zone. Now I keep my scoring board here, my cutting mats, my trimmer, just all those basic tools that I like to keep out instead of tucked away into a drawer. It's really important for me to have these handy and accessible all the time. Can we take a little peek at my little letter board? I have to show this off because we have so much fun with it. We put different little fun sentiments on it and whatnot, and it always keeps us motivated. So I thought that was a fun little accent for this tool area. Moving on down, we have ink storage, ink pads, and my re-inkers. Again, try to keep them handy. I actually do have two sets of them because a lot of times Shannon and I are working in here at the same time. So you'll see as we move down that we have a second set. But before we get there, this little hutch area is kind of a fun area that I love. In the top of it, we keep all of our planners and some of our memory keeping and fun things like that. I love that the glass lets me kind of see in there. It keeps it neat and keeps it from getting a little dusty. So I love that. And then the small area, which has two small doors, is kind of fun. You can take a peek inside. Keep all of my punch system in here. So I picked up these inexpensive crates just from a hobby store, and then I have all my punches stacked up, a couple of my punch handles here. So anytime I want to grab a punch, I can really quickly see which one I'm reaching for, and boom, got it right there. Should we take a peek in some drawers? Do you guys love seeing what's in people's drawers? I kind of do. So my drawers are fun, and I try to keep them organized. I do admit we tidied up before this video, but we pretty much keep them organized. This one has a lot of our embossing products, our mixed media products, and of course the pretty little sparklies. Everything looks better with sparkles. So I do store my sequins upside down in the drawer. So again, I can glance at them, see which one I'm grabbing for. Super quick, super easy. How about this drawer? It's like the mother load of acrylic blocks. So again, I picked up these acrylic trays just because I feel like they match the blocks. I have them sorted by size. You guys can tell what's my favorite block. Little E block, I have lots of those. So that's my storage there for the blocks. One more drawer down. This one I'm really happy with. We kind of struggled with how to store our regular dies. Now these are not dies that match stamps, but these are kind of what we call standalone dies. So we came up with this really fun sorting system, and we have them broken down into different categories. So we have basics, we have frames, we have 3D items. Of course, however you decide to organize them yourself, maybe categories, these might not make sense to you, they make sense to us, but you're gonna wanna come up with a system that makes sense in your brain to organize them. But I thought it was kind of fun. We just took these regular cardstock papers and had them laminated, so then they fit right inside the basket. This is another fun tip too. We have all of our acrylic paints. And again, I want to be able to see what color they are when I grab them. So we've just taken one of our small punches. This is the 3/4 inch punch, and just punched matching cardstock. So now I know when I grab this, that this is pineapple smoothie paint. So love that little tip for organization. And again, we have our embossing folders in there. So super efficient, a lot of product in one drawer. I love that. One more drawer. This time it's the dreaded scrap drawer. Now again, we have tidied this up, but generally these scraps stay pretty organized because of the way that we set up our baskets. So I have one basket with solid cardstock scraps, and we kind of keep those in rainbow order. I have one basket for pattern paper scraps. Those just kind of get tossed in. So I have little scraps in the small bucket, and then I have this bin, which is actually card bases already pre-cut. So anytime I have an extra piece of cardstock left that's big enough for a card base, I fold it in half, pop it in that little basket, and then I've got card bases ready to go. So fun way to organize scraps, colorful, and yet it encourages me to go in there and grab those scraps instead of taking a whole new piece of paper. Like I said earlier, we have here, because often there's two of us working in the craft room. This is kind of a fun little just catch-all for our new liquid colors. So we have all of our different liquid colors in this clear container, and again, high visibility, and yet they're contained and they're not falling and rolling all around. Here's our ribbon container, and again, colorful, fun, and yet organized. Almost everything I have organized in here, from the inks to the ribbons to the paper I'm going to show you in a minute, in a minute is pretty much all rainbow order. We just kind of like to keep things like that, and then we know exactly where to look. We have some accessories in this little section. This is kind of my accessories end of the countertop here. I have a lot of accessories in small jars. I do keep backups in our little storage totes right here. And again, I have a few more jars up on these shelves. And this shelf ended up being just perfect for our splashes. So I love that all of our colorful splashes are up there. So to me, they're motivating and encouraging to see them like that, and yet super handy to reach in and just grab them whenever we need them. So let's move on to what I call my wall of colorful beauty. So not only do I have all of my cardstock here, again in rainbow order, and one tip I wanted to share. We did introduce 6 new colors recently here at Fun Stampers Journey, and originally I had them kind of separated on their own at the end of my rack, and then I started thinking, you know what? I think I'm gonna mix them in with my normal rainbow order of paper, and I've actually found that I love that because I'm using the paper a lot more. Even though it was new and it matches a new collection we released, I just love that it's mixed in now, and I'm reaching for it much more, and I can actually see how it coordinates with all of our other colors. For example, this is a new color. This is our peaches and cream, and look how pretty it is with all the other shades of orange. I just love it. So let's back up a little bit because I don't want to pass by the stamps, which are so fun. Now, my collection stamps I'm going to show you in a minute. I do keep those in our storage containers. But we like these open baskets for our craft room here because we're using these stamps all day, every day. So I love that they're visual, and yet I want them to be neat and tidy. So we've separated them into the exact same categories that are in our catalog. And then we've just made simple little tags for them and put them on the front of the baskets. So again, blooms, great outdoors, masculine backgrounds, you get the idea. This one too, we can't pass by this without showing it. These are some of our new storage containers for our paper. Of course, you can use them for anything you want. But I use them for all of our pattern paper prints. So they fit 12 by 12 pattern paper perfectly. So I've got them again separated by collections, our trends mini papers, our regular pattern prints, etc., etc. So I love that they're neat and tidy, and when I need to look for something, I know exactly where to go. So love those. We have one more section of stamps here, which is basically a repeat of what I just discussed. And I kind of bracket the paper, and I love that they're handy and easy to grab. So we're on the third wall of the craft room now, and this is kind of really our organizational area, and I'll show you a few fun little things. Again, super excited about my huge corkboard. We keep things on here, notes we need to take, current promotions that we have here at Fun Stampers Journey, just kind of businessy stuff like that. And then big chalkboard too, love this guy. Again, tons of notes, tons of to-do lists. You don't have to-do lists, do you? Yeah, probably just as many as I do. I mentioned the collection stamps that we had earlier, so I kind of wanted to show you how I kept those organized. I have 3 sets of our really fun storage boxes, and the small sets hold our ATS stamps. In fact, all of our ATS stamps fit in these 3 storage containers. So maybe we'll take a little peek. So again, they're just all snuggled in there. Some of them have matching dies, but most of them don't, so those just get tucked in these 3 boxes. And then when we get to the bigger storage boxes, I have these fun little labels made. So this one, for instance, is Good Life, and I'll show you what that looks like. I have our Good Life stamps in here. Again, love the organization of these because not only do we have each stamp set in a little plastic holder. So this stamp, for example, has a matching die. So we have this little divider sleeve, and that keeps my die separate from my stamp set. And again, the whole thing just fits perfectly in the storage box. So I love that my really special stamps that I have are kept separately in these bins. So again, all 3 of the new collections in our catalog are stored in these bins. The extra bins that we have down here, we just keep miscellaneous things. For example, this one has my pan pastels. Probably kind of a little bit hard to see that one, but and then we also keep, fun party containers, some of our, just stock items. I kind of like that I don't have to see them all in here, and yet they're handy and super easy to grab. So this is our really more industrial looking rack, and I love this that it's on wheels and we can move it around if Shannon and I have to. But again, we keep a lot of our finished projects in here, so whether it's going to be for the blog, whether it's going to be for a future catalog, maybe it's a project for Instagram, or something that we're going to do a video on, we keep them in these buckets and we keep them all handy. Here's Shannon's Tri-Day Friday buckets. You can see that she's got her next Tri-Day Friday all set and ready to go. So this area just really helps us keep organized for projects that we need to have it on an ongoing basis. Super lucky to have such an amazing, huge island in our craft room, but you guys have to know that we're actually in part of the warehouse right now, and so our ceilings are super high and everything seems like it's really big. But an island is perfect for any size craft room that you have. So if your craft room is just small, or maybe it's in a corner of your dining room or bedroom, think about creating some sort of an island space, whether it's just with a small desk or whatever. We find that we absolutely love the island because we love interacting with each other, and we have people in crafting, whether it's crew or people visiting, and it's so much fun. So we just absolutely love our island. We keep our die cutting machines out on the island. This little guy, I'm gonna pull this forward just a little bit. Just a standard Lazy Susan we picked up at, some kind of home store. We did add the white paint to it, so that's kind of fun, a glossy white paint. And just all the fun little bowls. This is where you can really get creative and keep your things organized. So some of our little wood chips, some of our punches, just anything you would want to keep handy for your crafting, we keep right there. The center bin is, again, just a little organizational thing. We keep our adhesives in it. We keep some of our little gel pens and a few tools in there. So love that everything's contained and neat and tidy, and yet super handy. I can grab it on the fly. Love this little guy too. This actually is a fun little tiered thing, but we just bought a inexpensive Lazy Susan for under it. See, just a little cheap plastic one. But you don't even notice that, and that gives us added functionality for this guy. So we can spin it around, reach for our washi tape, some of our fun little twines, and then I just keep some of our jumbo clips in the top. So it can be organized however, something similar could be organized however it works for you. Colored pencils, keep a little bit of it tape there, and again, our smaller die cutting machine on the end. So super fun. This island sees a lot of action. This is just inexpensive white Formica, and let me tell you, we come in here, we scrub it, and it just cleans up beautifully. Thank you so much for joining us on a tour of the craft room here at Fun Stamper's Journey. If you'd like any information about us, please visit us at the website at funstampersjourney.com. Have a great day.